Hey everyone, welcome back to another high quality foodie feature for you here on the channel, where this time I'm over at Little Caesars to see exactly what 33% more pepperoni looks like on top of their classic pepperoni pizza. That's right, and apparently it's hot and ready too, so stay tuned because it's up next. Welcome to Peep This Out Reviews with Ian K.
Stay frosty.
Pizza, pizza.
So here it is, the classic pepperoni pizza at Little Caesars. And if you're saying to yourself, you know, this looks pretty familiar, guys, you would be correct. This really looks like their standard pepperoni pizza, but I gotta be honest, what they're trying to push is new with this one. Let's just say I'm not so sure. Alright, so very simply what we've got here is their large standard pizza crust topped off with their familiar marinara sauce and cheese blend, but the big draw with this one is supposedly 33% more pepperoni, so I guess we can pretty much call this one the extra most bestest mini. But on the surface, guys, I gotta be honest, this doesn't look too different from their regular pepperoni pizza, but hey, considering it's only $5.55, I am definitely not hating on it. I mean, the price point is pretty solid, and judging by the appearance of this one, it still looks like a pretty tasty pepperoni pizza. So if you're trying to count the pepperonis on this one, you can actually stop because I counted already and there's about 30 of them on here. So with the standard extra most bestest being about 50, you're looking at probably maybe originally about 20 or so pepperonis on this, and they maybe threw on maybe 10, 12, 13 extra, I guess. But at the same time, this looks very familiar and still a very tasty looking pepperoni pizza. Alright, so let's confirm what I think is going to be pretty tasty anyway. This is the classic pepperoni pizza featuring quote-unquote 33% more pepperoni here at Little Caesars. Let's peep out this flavor.
Little Caesars changed the Hot and Ready Classic and added 33% more pepperoni.
Well, I guess we can call this one the middle sibling, considering the extra most bestest is the Top Gun, and of course the regular pepperoni pizza features just the regular pepperoni slices, but with this one supposedly having 33% more than that, it still looks pretty tasty, and at the same time, it's pepperoni pizza from Little Caesars. $5.55, you can't really hate on that. So let me put this one down. It's always a challenge, like I say here, reviewing pizza in the car. Let's pick up a slice, and there you go. Pepperoni pizza action. I gotta say, this looks no different from what I've had in the past here, but considering I've never really reviewed a regular pepperoni pizza here on the channel like this, I guess I figured I'd just fill in that playlist. This is looking pretty tasty, guys. Let's give it a shot. The quote-unquote new 33% more pepperoni on the classic pepperoni pizza here at Little Caesars. Let's do it. It's what you expect. Tasty. Now, as I'm sure most of you peeps know, I'm not really into pepperoni as my all-time favorite go-to topping. I mean, I like it, but sausage is definitely the way to go. But considering the promo with this one, this really does fill this out pretty nicely. This slice is pretty much covered with a decent amount of pepperoni on this one, and they're nice and crispy, of course, with the cheesy goodness, the sauce, the crispy crust on the bottom especially. It's definitely a pretty tasty first bite for sure. But a very familiar first bite. Let's just keep going in, guys. Still, delicious stuff. Not bad for $5.55. Yeah, I'm definitely digging how nice and crispy the back of this pizza looks right over here, guys. And considering pizza is one of my all-time favorite foods, you didn't have to twist my arm very hard to get me over to Little Caesars to check this one out, much less the other guys with whatever promo they've got going on. But I am really digging the overall quality of what I've got here. And for $5.55, it's what you'd expect from Little Caesars, a value-sized pizza with supposedly more pepperoni. But again, I'm not feeling that aspect of it. Still pretty tasty, though. But I gotta be honest, as much as I usually save the crust for the very back, I have to admit this is looking so tasty right now. I think I'm just gonna go into it real fast before we go on with the front of it here. But still, guys, very tasty stuff. Good stuff. Basic pizza at Little Caesars, but crispy, crunchy, definitely digging that. And even though this is not necessarily the extra most bestest pizza, it's pretty much, I guess, in the middle compared to the way they're advertising this one. For $1 more, I believe you can go for the extra most bestest, so they want you to step up into that. This is a nice little stepping stone to get your feet wet, so to speak, with some tasty, familiar Little Caesars goodness. Let's keep going in for a couple more. Yeah, I'm definitely digging the fact that there's plenty of cheese on this as well, because again, I love cheese, I love pizza. This is absolutely satisfying my itch right now for something like this. And again, even though it's quote-unquote 33% more pepperoni, you're still getting a very decent value at $5.55. Pepperoni on its own, I have to admit, nice and crispy. Just a little bit of spice that it's got there as well, but everything else goes so nicely with what I've got here. And again, I keep coming back to that price point because Little Caesars is considered like a value brand, but you are getting a pretty decent amount of goodness here for the price point still. Alright, so whether you believe this is actually 33% more pepperoni compared to the normal version that you may be getting on average, which is usually about $5 or so anyway, you can't fade the fact that, guys, it's Little Caesars, you're getting a decent value, the taste is pretty familiar, and again, pretty banging stuff. One more bite and we'll close this one out with the rating coming up next. Hang on. All right, so let's go with another shot of one of these slices. And I gotta say, guys, one thing that I really like about this as well today is the fact that considering the amount of pepperoni that's on this, there's not a lot of grease to go around, and that's actually a good thing because it doesn't feel overly oily, but at the same time, that familiar flavor is there, and again, the crispiness of those pepperoni are really lighting this one up. I mean, it's got a little oil, but it's not overabundant where it's really soaking the box. And again, the toastiness on the bottom with that crust is pretty awesome. I've said it a million times throughout this review, pretty decent value for $5.55, but considering the quote-unquote 33% more pepperoni add-on with this one, I'm still not so sure.
Pizza, pizza.
Well, like I said earlier, you don't have to twist my arm too hard to get me over to try anything new that Little Caesars puts out because, guys, like I said, pizza is one of my all-time favorite foods, if not the favorite food. It's such a gluttonously delicious type of thing to have. Personally, for me, on a rainy day, it's the best. But at the same time, $5.55 for that and a very decent amount of pepperoni nonetheless, it's still very tasty. All right, I know I've said that a million times. So overall, I'm going to have to give the quote-unquote new 33% more pepperoni on the classic pepperoni pizza here at Little Caesars just an okay 7 out of 10. I think this is kind of just rebranding itself for the year, I think, to kind of get you to look at Little Caesars, to come on over to give it a shot if you haven't already. But considering the pepperoni that's on that and the overall quality, I would still come over either way, guys. And again, ad nauseum, it's still a little less than $6 for that whole pizza. So 8 slices, you're satisfying the itch, and the quality of what you're getting is pretty tasty. All right, so I've got one simple question for you. If you guys frequent Little Caesars pretty often to get their pepperoni pizza, did this variant actually look like it had 33% more pepperoni to you? Drop those comments down below and definitely let me know. And with that, this is Ian K closing out another high-quality foodie feature for you here on Peep This Out Reviews, bringing you brand new content every single week here on my channel. So why stay tuned for the next review coming real soon. In the meantime, stay frosty. I don't know, Little Caesars, 33% more pepperoni or not, obviously the extra most bestest is the way to go. So I see what you're doing. I see what you're doing here. All right, everyone, until next time, I'll talk to you soon. Hey, thanks for checking out another one of my reviews. But just in case you didn't see the one before this one, you can find it right up over here, along with what I think YouTube's gonna recommend for you to check out as well. As always, I think you'll find something to like in both of them, and I'll definitely catch you in the next one. See ya.